Senator Bennett, I'm from the Stockton Eagle. Sure didn't expect to see you driving this stage.
Well, I had no choice, honey.
Something happened to the driver?
Yeah, a couple of fellas held us up 4 or 5 miles out of town, you know. They nicked the driver here in the shoulder. A couple of you boys get a hand. Get them out of here. Come on, Archie. All right, boy.
Did you recognize them?
Didn't have time to recognize him. Just shot him. All right, get the man over to the doctor now.
Well, a term in Congress doesn't seem to have spoiled your aim, Senator.
Why should it? We're always taking pot shots at one another in the Senate chamber, huh? Well, I certainly didn't expect anything like this. A warm welcome homecoming. I want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Thank you, one and all. Stockton Eagle, eh?
Well, Senator.
Well, now, I hardly expected a welcome from the opposition.
I'm not extending one, I assure you. I live here at the hotel.
I thought maybe you'd come to bury the hatchet, Your Honor.
My party's never going to make peace with gunslinger politics, Bennett. No matter how colorful they may seem.
Sometimes I get the feeling that Judge Daggett doesn't approve of me.
How about a statement, Senator?
Why, just one second. I'd be glad to oblige you, young man. Now, here. I don't make no bones about it. I've come back to run for re-election. I want the job, I can do the job, and I'm the best doggone man in the world for the job.
I'll second that.
Victoria
Jim.
Buckley, you are a sight for hungry eyes.
I heard you were coming to Stockton. Is Amelia with you?
No, she's still in Washington.
Oh.
We thought the trip might be a little too much for her. What are you doing here? I thought you'd be at the ranch.
Oh, we're having the house renovated, and I'm staying here till it's finished.
Family with you?
I'm beginning to wonder if I have a family this week. Nick and Heath are out on the range, Jared's staying in the bunkhouse, and Audrey's in New York.
Little lot in New York?
Mm-hmm.
We do have a lot of catching up to do.
Almost 6 years.
Say, what about tonight, dinner, huh? Just the two of us, we can fill in all the gaps.
It sounds wonderful.
About 7 o'clock in the dining room.
Fine.
Victoria?
Hmm?
Are you still fond of pheasant and a chilled bottle of Chablis?
Mm-hmm. And our Chablis was particularly good this past year.
It's a shame we can't arrange with a hotel to furnish us with a gypsy orchestra.
Your company is enough, Jim. See you.
Stockton Eagle, huh?
That's right, Senator.
Thank you. Oh, sure and spell the name right.
I knew Ben had once courted Victoria Barkley before he got married. I never realized their relationship was so close.
Victoria, during the time I was in Washington, I think the most difficulty I had was trying to learn two things. First, how to control my temper, and secondly, how to balance one of those silly little teacups on my knee.
Well, apparently you managed both very well. I didn't hear of a single incident while you were in Washington.
No, otherwise there wouldn't have been an opposition senator or a teacup left in one piece. You know, you're absolutely right, Victoria. This Chablis is excellent.
We had a lot of rain last year, and that makes a great difference.
No, it bears out what I've always said. You know, given proper irrigation, there isn't anything you couldn't raise in California. Why, it could be the greatest, the richest agricultural center in the world.
Well, I imagine we'll come to that someday.
If only we could convince people like William Daggett that the most important problem is water. What we need is an aqueduct, a canal system of some kind, you know? No, all they can think about is how much money it's going to cost, not how much money it will eventually earn for the state. You know, they're blind. They have no foresight. They're just not in touch with destiny.
You really believe in this state, don't you?
Yes, I do, Victoria. Yeah, I was raised in the Sierras, you know, brought up, schooled in a gold mining town. I guess I'm just part of the dust and the dream.
I suppose we all are. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. And so, to destiny. Oh, I've missed you and Amelia these past years. I wish you were here.
So do I, Victoria, but our doctor advised against me.
Are you blind? Huh? Why don't you watch where you're going?
Oh, it's all right,
The
Jim.
clumsy boy.
Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I want to make it up to the little lady.
Take your hands off.
Come on, little lady. I won't buy you.
Take your hands off her. Drunken fool.
Jim!
What's the matter?
No.
You all right?
I had that coming. Sorry, ma'am.
Guess I haven't learned to control my temper as well as I thought. I'm sorry, Victoria.
Bartlett.
Who is it?
Message from Senator Bannard.
Just a minute.
He's in room 20, ma'am.
Jim.
Huh?
Victoria.
Oh. Yeah, I'll be right there.
is it? What happened?
Happened nothing. What do you mean?
But this note, it said to come here right away.
Well, I didn't write you any notes.
Well, I don't understand.
No, neither do I. What is this? Who brought you this?
Well, one of the clerks, I guess. I don't know. I was half awake. I merely glanced at him.
Hey, I don't like the looks of this. We better get you back to your room.
Hold it, Senator!
I figured Daggett was desperate, but I didn't think he'd be this desperate.
Judge Daggett? Oh, no. No, I've known him for years. I don't agree with him politically any more than you do, but this...
I'm afraid you've got a lot to learn about politics, Victoria. His only chance of winning this election is to discredit me. Yeah, it looks like the honorable judge has embarked on a smear campaign.
Well, what are you going to do?
Victoria, this is going to be bad enough for me, but I'm not going to let him drag you into it, and the sooner he knows that, the better.
But you haven't any proof. If you start trouble...
I didn't start the trouble. He did.
All right. At least talk to Jared first. Find out where you stand legally. But this may not even be politics. No, there are some people in this valley that don't particularly care for the Barclays. It could be aimed at me.
All right. Jared at the ranch?
We'll be there in an hour.
Yeah, he had everything all set up in advance. The camera, ladder at the window, the rig waiting outside the hotel. All he had to do was snap the picture and run.
Did you get a look at him?
Well, no, the flash kind of blinded our eyes for a minute, Jared, you know, and it all happened so fast.
And you're sure there were no witnesses?
It was 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, how about outside? Could anyone have seen him use the ladder?
No, not even the town drunk was up that late. Oh, it was a mighty clever frame, all right. A married United States senator traveling alone meets up with a beautiful widow that he once courted. Well, it fits just as neat as a hook in a boot, hmm?
It fits, all right.
You know what bothers me the most, Jared, is what this scandal could do to your mother's reputation. Just smear it right...
Oh, hang my reputation. I've been gossiped about before.
But not like this, Victoria. They'll drag your name through the mud in every barber shop, pool hall, saloon. Everybody from preachers to drunks will be talking about you.
My name has probably been mentioned in worse places than saloons.
Oh.
But the important thing is, how will all this talk affect your chances for re-election?
Badly, I'm afraid. If we can do what it did to Andrew Jackson, think what it'll do to Jim.
Yes, the political consequences are going to be bad enough, and well, then there's Amelia.
Amelia?
Sure. The newspapers will blow this up out of all proportion. When she sees that picture in the paper...
Oh, surely she won't believe anything like this.
You're a beautiful woman, Victoria. And Amelia's known all along that I've been very fond of you. It could worry her, and with her heart as bad as it is.
Now, wait a minute, Jim. I think we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. Let's deal with what has happened, not what might.
Uh-huh.
First of all, I think you should stay here tonight.
Here?
Right here. The work on the house is almost finished, and you planned to be back here tomorrow anyway, didn't you?
I can't stay here, Jared, especially after what's happened. Well, people will be gossiping even more than they are now.
That's exactly the point, Jim. You've always stayed here, and if you don't stay here now, it's going to make people wonder what you are hiding.
Jared is right. Now, think about it, Jim. Think about it. If you do leave here now, what do? Just stop talking to each other and ignore each other when we meet?
I just don't like to be hamstrung. Now, I'm going to find Daggett, and I'm going to stop this thing before it even starts.
If you do that, Jim, without proof, Daggett won't need those pictures. He'll sue you for slander.
I guess maybe you're right. All right. I'll stay here. Because if I go back to that hotel, I'd probably run into him, and you know me and my short fuse.
Exactly. So you just sit tight. I'll check around town tomorrow. I've got some pretty good informants. One of them might know something.
Fine. Thanks, Jared. Just try to remember, waiting has never been one of my strong points.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm holding here in my hand weighs less than half an ounce. By measurement, no more than 1.5 inches across. It's small. But nobody can tell me how hard a man has to work to earn one of these. Because you see, my family were farmers. And at a very early age, believe me, I learned what it took to put $1 away in my jeans. I'll tell you something, I haven't forgotten that. I'm not ashamed to say that I value money. And I can't spend $1, mine or yours, without first knowing where that dollar is going and whether I'm going to get a full dollar's value in return. And I'm distressed, my friends. I am appalled by some of the men in our government who squander our taxes as if it was so much corn seed, who instead of being the guardians of our money, are ready to pour it out in all kinds of wild, fanciful schemes. Now, you take my opponent, Senator Bannon, for example. Now, this man argues that building aqueducts is progressive, is far-seeing. There's no such thing, my friends. It is as reckless an idea as I've ever heard. And in the end, could bankrupt this whole state. Now, that's not a far-seeing idea, is it? Senator Bannon is no visionary. I'll tell you what he is. Senator Bannon is a man of incredible impulse. We all know of his record of impulsive acts, the gun duels or fist fights. Only the other night at the hotel, he almost battered a man senseless. Now, some of you may admire behavior like that, but I want to tell you that rashness has no place in the Senate of the United States. We don't want a hair-trigger temper in our representatives, my friends. We want stability. We don't want scandal. We want dignity. We want sanity. And if you agree with me, and you know how to mark your ballot, defeat this man, my friends. Show him the only trigger we respect is the vote.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, Jared.
Hello, Will. Oh, thanks, Sam. Give my best to your wife.
Haven't seen you in quite a while.
How have you been?
Busy, especially with the elections and all.
I can imagine.
I don't suppose I can count on Barclay support.
Afraid not, Will. Politically, we're still on opposite sides of the fence.
Well, that's what makes horse races and elections.
I guess so.
Oh, I didn't see Bannard at breakfast this morning. I understand he cut quite a figure in the dining room last night. How was he?
When I see him, I'll ask.
Sombrero. Sombrero. I knew you'd remember me. Look what I got for you. I remember me, old Jimbo. Sure enough, your old trail buddy, you do. Huh? Well, I thought sure enough you would. How you been? Huh? You looking good. How are you? It sure is mighty good to see you again.
He's been waiting for you, Jim. Hasn't answered a whistle and, well, ever since you left.
Hey, that's it, huh? I sure gonna hate to leave him, you know. We sheriffed a lot of trails together, me and Sombrero. But then, if I shouldn't win the election, I wouldn't have to leave him. That'd be kind of a bright spot, wouldn't it?
Well, I see Sombrero still remembers you.
I sure did. Great old boy, anyhow, just as sleek and sassy as ever. I bet you he can still outrun anything in sight.
Well, now, I don't ever remember him outrunning Misty Girl.
Well, he never really tried. You know, he didn't want to discourage her.
That has all the earmarks of a challenge.
It is.
You got a race. Length of the pasture and back?
All right. He's getting my saddle out of the barn. Oh, do you think Misty Girl will be able to make it to the end of the pasture and back?
Oh, let's go. Did you find out anything?
I've only had one day.
No luck then, Jared, huh?
Not yet, Jim. I checked the hotel. The room next to yours wasn't rented.
Well, then he must have had a pass key. And what about the valise and the camera tripod? What did the desk clerk say about that?
There wasn't any. The room was undisturbed. I checked with the housekeeper when she went in this morning to dust.
But that's impossible. We both saw the equipment.
Obviously, he had an accomplice. Now, somebody else had to be registered at that hotel to cover up his tracks for him.
That brings us right back to Daggett.
Not necessarily, Nick. This might answer a few questions for us, Jim. It was left at the hotel desk this morning for you while the clerk was off duty.
Yeah, you're right. It certainly does.
Here you are, Jim. I'll have you saddled up in just a minute.
You forget the saddle. Take a look at this.
Where'd this come from?
We don't know. It was left at the hotel this morning.
You still suggest we wait, Jared?
Yes, I do. This picture gives us motive, but not proof.
You know, one time when I was sheriff, a bunch of riffraff tried to frame me for cattle rustling so they could grab this little gold diggings I was working, you know? I didn't have any proof then either until I beat the truth out of one of them.
Jim, you're not a local sheriff anymore. You can't afford that kind of direct action, and you know it.
Well, it's better than sitting around waiting for that trap to close. Look, I kept my mouth shut because you asked me to. But I'm not going to let a thing like this be passed around.
Nick, you so much as go near Daggett, and it's going to give even more validity to that picture. Now, I'm telling you, as a lawyer, if you do anything foolish, the opposition is going to welcome it.
I'm not going to withdraw from this election no matter what. So, Jared, you go ahead and get the proof. I don't care how. And get it fast.
Come on. Get over here.
Where you going?
End of town?
This hour? Business or pleasure?
Business, but somehow I think it's going to turn out to be a little pleasure.
Like breaking into Daggett's office, trying to find those pictures?
And the plate that made him.
You know what Jared said about direct action?
Oh, now, Heath, you know I'm no politician. That doesn't apply to me.
Well, his office is in the middle of town. That's pretty risky, Nick.
Then stay home.
What makes you think I'm going?
Because you don't trust me.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
I'll saddle up.
Uh-huh.
I don't believe you gentlemen had an appointment. But then, perhaps you Barclays are in the habit of calling in the middle of the night.
This isn't exactly a call, Judge.
Oh? Well, what then? Oh, yes. Apparently you were searching for something. May I ask what?
Quit playing possum, Daggett. You know what we're here for. The pictures of my mother and Jim Bannard.
Pictures?
That's right.
Pictures? You gentlemen amaze me more and more. I'm a jurist, not a photographer. Breaking and entering is a criminal offense. I'm surprised you Barclays would stoop to it.
We're surprised you'd stoop to blackmail.
That's a serious accusation to make without proof. As a lawyer, I'd advise you against repeating it. Unless you want even more trouble than you have now. The sheriff will be passing on his round soon. You know, I've known your family for years. I'd hate to do anything, shall we say, to embarrass you. So I suggest you leave before he arrives.
Gerard, no sense you getting all riled up. We're just trying to help.
Help? Help who? Daggett? You certainly didn't help Jim.
Well, at least we did something. We didn't sit around and talk about
Whose
it.
harebrained idea was this anyway? It sounds like one of yours.
No, wait a minute. It
Well,
wasn't
what
such a
makes you
bad
think Daggett is going to be stupid enough to leave those pictures in his office? If he has got them, they're going to be in a safer place than that.
What happened?
Go ahead, Nick. Tell her.
All right, what is it?
Well, Heath and I ransacked Daggett's office tonight.
Ransacked it. Did you get the pictures?
All they got was caught.
Caught?
No, wait a minute. Don't blame Heath. It was all my doing. He only went along with it because he couldn't talk me out of it.
Where is Heath?
Down in the stable, unsaddling the horses.
Nick, you've really done it this time. Not only have you broken the law, but you've handed Daggett a nice present all wrapped up in blue ribbons.
Oh, now, wait
If
a
he
minute.
isn't involved with the pictures, he knows now that we've got something to hide. And if he is involved, he knows that we're scared.
Guess we sure messed up things, didn't
That's putting it mildly. With your kind of help, you've already got him elected.
we? Jared, I admitted we made
Nick, you are the most stubborn, mule-headed...
Wait a minute. That'll be enough of that.
All right, boys, all right. Now, you listen to me. We're a family. Mistakes or not, we stand together. Now, I suggest we all go to bed, get a good night's rest, and discuss this in the morning when we're calmer.
You're right. I'm sorry, Nick. I guess I got a little carried away.
Well, I guess we both did.
Let's turn in.
Good night, Mother. Jim.
All right. Sure.
Victoria, last thing in the world I want to do is cause any bitterness between your sons. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like old times, isn't it, huh? Hmm? You and me riding out together? Come on. Come on, boy. Come on.
Jim!
Well, now, where in blazes is he going?
Probably going for a ride.
This early in the morning?
Sure, best time of day to go.
Maybe we best follow him.
Nick, I think we better mind our own business for a change.
Yeah, well, all right.
Well, this is an incriminating picture. I don't wonder that you and the Barclays are concerned about it.
You deny seeing this picture before?
Are you insinuating that I have?
Well, it's pretty obvious from the message on it that the opposition party's behind this. And you are the opposition, Daggett, whether you're willing to admit it or not.
Bernard, you seem to be making a pretty serious accusation. I hope you're prepared to prove it.
I'm prepared to back it up with action.
Ah, action. My dear Senator, without proof, that would be as indiscreet as being photographed in your hotel room with Victoria.
Who said it was my hotel?
Well, isn't that the obvious place? I simply assume that you and,
Is it obvious? Well, Victoria had a room in the hotel, too. How do you know it wasn't in her room?
Your room, her room, what difference does it make? The point is, you've finally slipped up. You've finally been caught in something that'll show the voters what an unprincipled man you are.
A liar and a blackmailer, Daggett. I might not be able to prove it, but one thing, I'm not going to stand still for a smear campaign. If you're going to try and discredit me, you're going to have to do it not only in public, but at gunpoint. Do you understand me, Daggett? At gunpoint.
Violence. You think that's the answer to everything, don't you, Bennett? Violence. Well, I'll tell you something. It isn't going to work this time. You're not going to force me into a gun duel with you, no matter what you do.
I'll be waiting for you tomorrow morning at the south edge of town, Daggett. And if you're not there, I'm going to come and get you.
If you do, you'll meet the sheriff.
Sheriff won't be able to keep me away from you forever. Tomorrow morning. I want to remember, the only man who's going to withdraw from this election will be the dead man.
Well, finally. I was beginning to think you weren't coming, Gil.
I wouldn't have if your message hadn't said it was so important. It's risky meeting this close to town.
I didn't have any choice. I want some more prints of that picture right away.
I told you to let me make more than just 2 copies.
I didn't think I was going to have to use them. Bannard refuses to withdraw. Here's the plate. I want enough prints for every newspaper in the state.
All right. But you'll have to pick them up. I'm not coming out here from Oxville again. With a man like Bannard involved, it's just too dangerous.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'm driving to Sacramento in the morning. I'll pick them up at your shop on my way.
Oh? Our original deal was for $200.
That's right.
This will cost you a little extra.
What are you talking about? Our deal included as many prints as I wanted, and you know it.
It didn't include 2 trips.
All right, I'll give you another $50.
150 sounds more like it.
150?
Bannard would probably be willing to pay even more.
All right. You just better make those prints legible. Or you don't get a cent.
Your clerk said you'd be back in a few minutes, so I decided to wait.
I presume you came for the same reason Bannard did.
Jim was here?
Oh, yes. A couple of hours ago. He showed me that rather, shall we say, interesting picture of the 2 of you.
I didn't know he was planning to discuss this with you.
We discussed nothing. He insulted and threatened me.
That picture is a fraud, Will. I came here to ask you to put a stop to it.
Indeed. And what makes you think I could?
Well, it may not be your doing, but obviously someone in your party is behind it. And with your influence, you could certainly put a stop to it.
Last night, your sons ransacked my office, accused me of arranging for the picture. Now you come in and ask me for my help.
What Nick and Heath did was wrong, but they were trying to end a vicious smear, and so should you. No matter what you think about Jim, I can't believe that you would condone such dishonest tactics to defeat him.
Jim Bannard is an impractical man with plans that will ruin this whole state. He's also a violent, unprincipled killer. He proved that today when he threatened my life. I feel that anything which defeats him is a service to the people.
Then you're willing to allow this fraud to go through.
Fraud? I wasn't in that hotel room, Victoria. Only you and Bannard were. You'll regret that, Victoria. Believe me.
I doubt it.
Victoria? You can tell your Senator Bannard I won't be at the edge of town tomorrow morning. I'll be driving to Sacramento. By the time I arrive, I'll expect word of his withdrawal from this campaign.
I knew we disagreed on politics, Will, but not on principle. Obviously, I was wrong. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Victoria.
Breakfast will be ready. What are you doing?
You said Daggett was driving to Sacramento this morning. I'm going after him.
Those?
Mm-hmm. That message he sent was a threat, Victoria. It was carefully disguised, yes, I'll admit, but nevertheless a threat.
So are those pistols.
At least they're honest.
Daggett is not going to fight a duel with you. He told you that yesterday.
And I'll just have to make him change his mind.
Bennett.
Victoria gave me your message, Daggett. I'm here to give you one last chance to settle this thing honorably.
Honorably? Well, I couldn't outdraw you, and you know it.
All right? We'll even the odds. I'll give you first shot with a dueling pistol.
You're even more of a fool than I thought you were. I don't deal in guns. Get out of my way, Bannard.
Very well. You leave me no choice. But first, I'm going to have to relieve you of those pictures.
You'll relieve me of nothing.
He's dead, Jim.
Got to find those pictures. Nothing. He must be in his valise. Got to be in here. One. There's got to be more than one. It just doesn't make sense.
Maybe the sheriff will find more.
What are you talking about?
A man is dead, Jim. We have to report it.
You know what that could mean, huh? But they'll accuse me of murder.
But it was an accident. I saw it.
You saw it. You, the compromised woman. The woman who was photographed in my hotel bedroom in the middle of the night. Don't you realize what the prosecution can do with that?
But the picture is a fraud. All we have to do is find the photographer.
The photographer has gone. Victoria, don't you? Will you please just listen to me? But you see, without a witness, your testimony means absolutely nothing. Huh? Why, they just tear you to pieces. They say you were lying to protect your lover. They might even accuse you of being an accomplice. No, the best thing for us to do is just walk away.
Walk away?
Sure. There's nothing here to connect us with Daggett. No pictures, no nothing. They'll find the body. They'll assume it was a robbery, and nobody will ever know any different.
We'll know it, Jim.
Victoria, if it was only my life that's at stake, or my political career, I wouldn't ask you to do this. But there's no point in reporting this now to the sheriff. Daggett's dead. We can do nothing for him. But if I have to go through a murder trial, even though I won't be convicted, but the excitement, the tension, it could very well kill Amelia.
I'm sorry, Jim. I can't withhold evidence, even for Amelia.
No. What are you doing? I won't let you do it. You understand? You can't. I won't. The big...
George. Oh.
Forgive me. Please, I just lost control. Do what you have to do.
Anybody here?
With you in a minute. Good evening, ma'am. What can I do for you?
Now, don't pretend you don't know me. We met the night you delivered that note.
Note? I don't understand. There must be some mistake.
There's no mistake, and you know it.
How'd you find me?
Judge Daggett is dead. This picture was found in his valise.
Daggett is dead?
It was an accident.
What kind of accident? Was Bannard involved?
Yes. But it didn't happen the way you think. I saw it. Now, I need your help. Unless I can prove that this picture is a fraud, my testimony won't mean a thing.
Oh, no. I'm not getting mixed up in any murder. I've got enough trouble.
You're indirectly responsible for this tragedy. One man is dead and another's life is at stake. Doesn't that mean anything to you?
Not when it's him or me. You know, just being part of a blackmail plan is a jail offense. And it wouldn't be my first one.
All right. If you won't testify willingly, I'll have you subpoenaed.
I'm getting out of here just as fast as I can.
You won't get very far. Once I report this, every sheriff in this state will be after you.
Oh. Well, we can't have that, can we? Not for a while. Not for quite a while.
Jared would get back. I'm as spooky as a cow pony with a burr under his blanket. Can't even write a letter to Amelia.
Would you like me to write to her?
No, thank you, Victoria. The words will come. Maybe I'd be better off to wait until we hear what Gil had to say. Victoria, suppose he won't admit that the picture was a fraud. You know, he can say that Daggett hired him just to get a picture or proof that we were lovers. We won't be any better off than we were before.
But Jared has the note Gil wrote the night he took the picture. He can't deny his own handwriting.
Well, in his boots, he'd be smart to deny everything and stick to it.
Jared's handled tougher cases than this. He'll break them down.
I hope so.
You can pour me one of those, Jim.
Jared, I thought you'd never get back.
I'm sorry it took so long, but that photographer was a little tougher to crack than I thought.
But did he confess?
All of it.
Oh, Jim.
Thank you, Jared. Thanks.
It was my pleasure. Of course, there'll be an inquest, maybe even a trial. But with Gil's testimony and Mother as an eyewitness, you haven't got a thing in this world to worry about.
Well, Jim, it looks like your chances for re-election are better than ever.
Provided, of course, that the voters are willing to accept the testimony on its face value.
Well, of course they'll accept it. They like you. And what was it you said that night at dinner? That you wanted to be part of the dust and the dream.
Jim, I think these voters want that dust irrigated. And they figure you're the only man who can do it.
I hope you're right, Jared. I sincerely want to be a part of this state's destiny.
You will, Jim. You will.